Now, your KNWA Power Doppler forecast first.
Hello everyone, happy Monday afternoon, and the weather could not be better. Gorgeous outside as we look at our downtown Fayetteville Skynet cam. Barely a cloud in the sky, and overnight tonight it's going to be another one of those cool ones as temperatures fall into the mid 40s. We should be this time of the year in the middle 50s, so we're going to be about 10 degrees cooler. Beautiful weather will continue, but does it last into the weekend? We're already looking forward to that, of course. We'll have that forecast as your news starts now.
Now, with Northwest Arkansas News, always, this is KNWA Live at 5.
Now on KNWA, neighbors headed to play a round of golf stumbled onto a crime scene in Benton County. Good evening, I'm Neely Jones.
And I'm Matt Turner. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Today in Benton County, deputies continue to investigate a body found in the trunk of a burning vehicle.
Yeah, they say they believe the fire may have been started to cover up a crime. Now, our own Alex Flippin is investigating this story today. He joins us live in the newsroom with more. Alex?
Matt Neely, investigators with the Benton County Sheriff's Office say they're basically starting from scratch on this one. They don't believe the victim in the case is related to any other current missing person case from the area, but right now, they're not even sure of that. Shortly before 4 a.m. Sunday morning, residents living along this stretch of Old Highway 68 just outside of Taneytown awoke to what they still believe were gunshots. Looking out the window, a couple tell us they saw a large fire in the driveway of their longtime neighbor, but dismissed it as a controlled brush fire. But it wasn't brush, rather a Dodge Intrepid purposely set on fire, undoubtedly to destroy evidence of a crime. The family living at the end of the driveway where the car, human remains inside its trunk, had been dumped, say they left their home early that same morning but saw nothing out of the ordinary.
We just barely missed them, yes we did, because we could have been leaving at that time and ran into whatever.
Another set of neighbors discovered the badly burned body about 12 hours later and called authorities. Now, that fire has kept investigators from being able to determine whether the victim in this case is male or female. They tell us at this point they'll start by tracing the origin of that vehicle. Neely?
All right, Alex, we'll be following this. Thank you. Tuesday morning, a local woman will be arraigned in Washington County on murder charges. Dolores Eggert faces capital murder charges for the death of her mother, Pauline DeVore. If found guilty, Eggert could face life in prison or the death penalty. And earlier today, a Fayetteville garbage truck collided into a pickup. The accident happened just after 10 a.m. around the intersection of Huntsville and Willow Streets in Fayetteville. Central EMS took the pickup truck driver to Northwest Regional Medical Center, where officials say he remains in stable condition. Coming up tonight at 6, Pat Gazzola has resigned as chairman of the Fayetteville Advertising and Promotion Commission. This comes after he referred to Dixon Street as, quote, not that safe of a place, end quote, at a commission meeting last week. We'll have the latest on this story at 6.
Well, some schools in Bentonville may soon have to expand. Tomorrow night, school officials are expected to ask the Planning Commission to install more modulars behind 4 of their buildings. Now, the modulars are freestanding temporary classrooms, and as of now, they're being used over at the high school and 2 of the middle schools. Today in Rogers, the P. Ridge Foundation announced plans for the upcoming festival and Soldier's Dream Supper. Now, a group gathered at the Rogers Museum to talk about some of the events that are happening on June the 12th and the 13th. Representatives dressed up in various costumes to talk about artwork along with renovation plans at the P. Ridge National Military Park.
There are 11 paintings, and they are all depicting scenes of the Battle of P. Ridge. They are the, as far as I know, they're the only collection that is complete by one artist on one battle.
Now, the festival and banquet are scheduled for this June, and you can learn more about that by going to nwahomepage.com. Well, if you drove around Northwest Arkansas today, you may have noticed a group of people running with a torch. It's all part of the Special Olympics Torch Run. Local law enforcement officials kicked off their leg of the event today. The runners moved through Siloam Springs, Bella Vista, Springdale, and even Fayetteville.
We raise money through T-shirt sales and donations for Special Olympics, and we're also out here to raise awareness for Special Olympics just by being visible and getting this stuff out to the public, letting them know what the Special Olympics program's about.
And Detective Hammond says he's participated in this event almost every single year since he joined the Fayetteville Police Department. We have new information tonight about the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. Now, the first tickets are expected to be sold by the end of the year, so it's coming soon. That's according to the Lottery Commission, which is authorized to hire as many as 75 people in addition to the 13 positions that are specified by law.
In national headlines today in Missouri, a jury will sentence a mother involved in a cyberbullying case that ended with a young teen's suicide.
NBC's George Lewis has much more.
Lori Drew is expected to learn her fate today as a federal judge sentences her for perpetrating a hoax on the popular social networking site MySpace.
Theoretically, the judge could give her up to 3 years in federal prison on this case. I don't think anyone expects this.
As many of you know, earlier...
Prosecutors say that Drew, her daughter, and one of Drew's employees created a bogus character on MySpace, a 16-year-old boy named Josh who befriended 13-year-old Megan Meyer. Drew wanted to find out if Megan, who lived down the street in this St. Louis suburb, was saying nasty things online about Drew's daughter. In testimony, investigators said the fictional Josh later broke off the friendship with Megan, messaging her, quote, "The world would be better off without you." Megan hanged herself in her bedroom. And though what happened took place in the St. Louis area, the case was tried here in Los Angeles because this is where MySpace.com has its headquarters. What Drew was found guilty of was misusing the internet site.
I don't think she set out to, in any way, shape, or form, have this girl commit suicide. No, I don't. But I think that in her knowledge of this girl having depression and suicidal tendencies, I think that she made poor judgment.
And in finding her guilty, the jury seemed to be sending a message that cyberbullying is not okay. Now it will be up to the judge to rule whether Lori Drew gets federal prison time or probation. George Lewis, NBC News, Los Angeles.
In your Business Minute, the economy has hurt one of the government's most visible employers. The Postmaster General announced today the Postal Service has 25,000 fewer employees this year. The workforce now consists of about 635,000 people, well below the 800,000 level a decade ago. But Walmart seems to be doing fine in this recession. You may see roomier and more interactive electronics displays soon inside stores. The company says the remodel comes as the economic downturn sends more affluent customers into Walmart stores. Now, many have already started with the transition, which includes standalone sections for popular brands like Nintendo. Those displays may have already helped Nintendo. The company announced the handheld Nintendo DS passed the 1 million unit sales mark in April. This comes when most gaming companies have announced declines in video game sales. Tonight at 10, food sales and consumer concerns have many looking at local farmers markets for fresh fruits and veggies. At 10, Carly Gordon follows a locally grown food from start to finish. That's in our Farmers Market 101. President Obama has become the latest in a long line of American presidents to try and bridge the gap between Israel and its Palestinian neighbors.
Yeah, for more on that, here's Contessa Brewer with tonight's MSNBC 120 report.
High-stakes meeting in the Oval Office with the stability of the Middle East hanging in the balance. During a lengthy White House meeting, President Obama and new Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu talked about plans to restart Middle East peace talks. Despite disagreement on the best approach, the two leaders tried to find common ground.
I have said from the outset that when it comes to my policies towards Israel and the Middle East, that Israel's security is paramount.
Everybody in Israel, as in the United States, wants peace. The common threat we face are terrorist regimes and organizations that seek to undermine the peace and endanger both our people.
In New York City, officials predicted the swine flu outbreak will get worse. This after a local middle school assistant principal died Sunday, several days after getting sick. It was the United States' 6th swine flu death. Today, the Supreme Court rejected a lawsuit from a Pakistani man who claimed he was abused while imprisoned after 9/11. He had tried to sue the former Attorney General and FBI director.
The Supreme Court said when you file this kind of lawsuit, you have to show a more direct connection between the policies and what happened to you.
In another decision, the court said women who went on maternity leave before discrimination against pregnant women became illegal cannot sue their employers for back pay.
In court, he was appropriate. You know, he was respectful before the judge. He wasn't making any wisecracks in court. Wasn't cracking any jokes in court. And back, he was a lot lighter.
An uncharacteristically silent Drew Peterson appeared in an Illinois court today. The former Illinois cop pled not guilty to charges of murdering his third wife. Shuttle astronauts headed out on a 5th spacewalk of their Hubble repair mission, installing new batteries and sensors. That's your MSNBC 120. I'm Contessa Brewer.
Coming up, can kids break their tech addictions? Some gave it a shot. We're going to find out how they did. I don't know if I could.
No, we're not kids. We're addicted to that stuff too. Hey, first we're going to tell you about some mobile art. It was on display this morning in Benton County.
If you see breaking news or have a story idea, call the KNWA Tips line today at 571-TIPS or the toll-free number you see here. 571-TIPS.